You a great motherfucker.
Don't be a stupid bitch.
Ding dong. Hello?
Yes. That's right, infidels. I told you it's heels over strong. And all of your American icons have fallen, and Hacker Hameen remains. It's time for the conspiracies to become your life. And all the inside underground chatter, I'm putting it all to bed. So all of you here in the locker room, you stooges, you infidels, you pathetic morons, bow before Ayatollah Telayi bin Hamid, Hamid Media Group. Rise and praise, YOLO. Oh, what's good? What is good, you guys? Hopefully you're having a great summer, man. Seems to be, I don't know, the kettle's always boiling over. It seems if you want to look at the optimist, pessimist way of it all. But hopefully you're out there making some memories. I had a great weekend just talking to RBV about fair food and, just getting out there. And it was Honor America Days or Dishonor America Days here. And the fireworks going off. So hopefully you're out there with friends and family enjoying some summer fun, man. Going to concerts or going to the hottest party of the summer, WrestleMania. Summerfest.
Get me
Summerfest is coming. And I hear that the arena holds 80,000 and they've sold 45,000 each night. So a lot of work left to be done for Summerfest, and a lot of work here to be done in the locker room, cleaning up tape and making sure the floors are swept. So Art of the B to the V is in the house. Good morning, Rick.
Ben, always a pleasure to be back with you, getting the Monday going, the work week going, if you will.
Yeah.
I don't know where to jump into this thing. First I was just telling you up here, I don't know what to talk about, but now I've got like 12 ideas. But I guess we're going to start Salute America Days or Celebrate America Days in Northern New York, right?
Yeah, well, Honor America Days, where I live.
Honor America Days.
I'm the military base in Rome. I mean, this city is original American Revolution. Fort Stanwix is a Revolutionary War fort right in the middle of the.
Okay, so
of the
this
city.
is something new, something that's been going on there probably since before Bin Hamid. But has Bin Hamid ever graced the streets of Rome?
I have not been to the Colosseum yet, and to be honest with you, that is a bucket list of mine. I don't know.
I mean, is it in the full dress, the headgear, all of that?
Have I ever been outside?
Yes, during Honor America Days. Have you got out there, got that heat, or done like yeah?
But I got out in front of the B-52 with a bunch of flags on base and cut a promo a while ago. It was sketchy, bro. Like it was.
Did you almost get in trouble
dangerous.
for that one? Like jumping a fence or something like that?
Yeah. Well, I didn't jump the fence, but we.
Tommy's not jumping any fences.
Yeah. That was the one when I was crossing the border into Canada after I was banned. Yeah. Okay. So it was right around that time. So it was, it's serious footage. Like, sure, my art is satirical and pushing the boundaries and what I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to do. Are you going to cut a front seat car promo, or are you going to outdo what you did last time? And if you have a set a standard of like, I'm about to push these buttons and how do we do it and how do we plan the storylines, sometimes it's got to be done. And that, I come from the 90s of skateboard videos and shit like that, where you do it and ask for forgiveness, not permission, so that's the fastest way to get shut down. So guerrilla art happens that way, and no one's being hurt by it, really. It's somebody who doesn't understand and has their feelings or opinions on it, but I don't have a problem with the ridiculousness of. I go by things all the time. Like there's a 9/11 memorial here, and I've thought about doing promos in the past there, and I make that choice not to, you know what I mean? There's some things that it's always tasteless. I guess it's just how far you want to go and how much you want to make them swallow that jagged little pill. I can accomplish my goals another way, but then I think about that and I go, well, as conspiracies fall around us and truth seems to be bubbling to the surface of the last 20 years, maybe it's time to do the promo in front of that, because it's not a false idol, but it's erected in a monument way that is all about a lie. The truth still isn't out. So now we're going to say, oh, you're disrespecting that if you dare talk about this. Like I say, you putting that up there and endorsing the truth is disrespecting the loss of life more than anything else. So everyone has their own perspective on it. And sometimes I can pay off the wrestling heat without going too far, but what is too far? We should follow the fear and fucking embrace it. But yeah.
There was 2 instances that you were told stories about for all the years that you've been doing the podcast and all that. That one there with the planes, you taking that photo there, because that inspired me at one point. As everybody knows, when I was with the Professional Wrestling Alliance, our top title was the Great American Championship. Amos, who you came in to do some battle with for us, he was the champ that time. And there was a memorial tank here at a nearby park, and it was gated off. And I convinced Amos at one point, let's jump that gate, get in there and get a picture of you like with the George Washington pose with the belt up there on top of the tank.
You can go to any town's VFW. There's going to be like a helicopter or a jet, something or
like that. But I remember the Green Township Police, man, that guy came shooting out of that front door up that hill to scream at us, and I'm saying, hey, man, this is a positive thing. We're professional wrestling.
Now imagine he's dressed like me. Now imagine he's
at least I'm pro America here. I've got a great American champion. But another story you always put out there, and I kind of replicated that a little bit at a VFW for Salute of Vet Days when we were doing a show there, is the story that you've always told about when you interrupted the national anthem.
Yeah, I've done that spot probably 3 or 4 times at different places. But interrupting it with the little girl singing was a bridge too far.
That's some heat right there, brother.
Hey, shout out Chris Envy, man. He fucking wanted me to do it. It was his daughter, and school shootings were going crazy right then too. So there was so much of just like, what are you just gonna go out and I'm from Middle East, hate me? Like, dude, Ben Hameen is the conduit for what's on Fox News and MSNBC for both sides, right? And all I have to do is really say what they're saying the way I say it or point it out, and people know that they're being propagandized.
Just in your voice with that delivery, and it takes on a whole new meaning to those people.
Yeah, and whatever they hate or whatever went bad, even locally or globally that day, guess who was behind it? Me, So when I lose, it pays that off, dude. That's my job psychologically on the greater part of the show. But is that a tasteless thing? Absolutely, bro. Like that might be a step too far. But then I'm like, what is nationalism and patriotism in the time when I was doing that, where they're scrubbing the internet, where you're being demonetized, you're living inside of an op that is completely like, the conspiracy horsemen were chugging along huge at that time. And like, we were living in an open air op as it happened. And then they did, DVOC 91 and showed exactly what they can do to this world, and just like that through fear and panic. So, just standing there and repeating songs and pledges of allegiance of what you're really saying, for which it stands, and then what does it really stand for? It's an interesting premise of how we're conditioned by the state with song and pledge to do what, to support what, and they hide behind it, and there's a big greater evil at work, and we have these heroes that are sworn to protect us against enemies, foreign and domestic, but those same agencies are being weaponized against us all. Like, so now what does that pledge mean? It's a pledge to an evil dark path and not one of nationalistic pride and leading the way. Like, so interrupting it means what? Like, these are all the things I have to like talk out in my head, you know, to justify doing the spot, that I'm actually gonna do it and maybe get murdered tonight in backwoods Campbellsville, Kentucky by some rednecks, dog. Like, for what, you know? But that's the integrity of what the character is, and maybe that's stupid and a step too far for phony wrestling, but I'm a weirdo performer too, bro. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I might seem like I always got it together, but I might make stupid choices for an art form that would leave me in the dust, you know?
So when we did it, I didn't put that much thought into it. It's like, man, Hameen had told me the story.
Yeah.
This is
now imagine you're me, dude, going to interrupt the national anthem at a VFW, dude.
So we're at a VFW. This is the biggest crowd that we've ever had. There was between like 800 and 1,000 people there, mainly to celebrate this Thank a Vet Day. Up on stage, they have 36 vets. They've got Lee Greenwood playing. There's cameras rolling. There's tears falling. So I have the sense. I wait till the song is over and they're kind of dispatching from the stage area. So I look over and I look at the guy working the heel, working our main event. It's a flag match, America versus Russia. Vladimir Alexander. I said, grab your flag, grab your flag, grab your flag. He's looking at me. No. I grab him, pull him up on stage. We kind of push our way through some of the younger veterans that were still up there, letting the older ones get out of the way.
Yeah.
And this is big time Trump country. So I say, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, they already see the Russian up there with the flag. They're already starting to boo a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, per order of your president, right, this is Biden, it's in office, we must give equal representation to all voices around the world at this time. So please turn your attention to representing Russia, Vladimir Alexander. This is when the trash starts coming. Start coming.
Does he know the Russian national anthem? It's the Nikolai Volkov spot.
He didn't go into the song. He gave a tremendous speech pro-Russian, going in and out of Russian and American.
Okay. Yeah, doing the Drago thing.
So is hot.
Dude, he just needs to learn that song. Like, that bit's been done, but what you're talking about is what I just talked out in my head, is the national anthem, the pride of what you're known for, what they might hear in an Olympics or whatever, you know what I mean? And that it also references wrestling history. That's not just a Nikolai thing, that's a people thing. So he can easily go, yeah, I'm going to do that too. And he's paying respect and getting the spot. So he needs to have that in his bag of tricks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a great performer, all that. So, during the main event, we have that flag match going on. He was going to get capture his flag. And there was actually bikers that were so irritated, still hot from the beginning of it, that stepped in the way. So I'm panicking. I got the mic ringside. I'm like, holy shit, dude, we're going to have to defuse this situation.
Got to.
They were cool about it. The bikers played along with it. But afterwards, the guys at the VFW, they got it. The commander and all that. He was like, man, that was awesome, man. He was an old school. He was, referencing back to the days of the Cold War and, the Russian wrestlers and how he hated all of them. And
well, some of those shows are so crazy, bro. Like they love the old school.
We had to sneak him out.
Yeah, that's the heat, bro. Like I've had probably 5 or 6 times where it's been like, we got to get the fuck out of here. And one time with 3 cop cars coming ripping in the other side of a U driveway while we went out the other side at the Armory in Campbellsville. That's when you're doing your art at a high level. Our job is to get a reaction and to make people feel. And sometimes those fucking feelings when you're dealing with, and not our audience here, not the Locker Room and Hami Media Group, but you guys go to indie shows, it's a fucking moth to a flame of fucking, lowest of the low of the dregs of society sometimes, special people who aren't in control of themselves to start with, and now I'm getting everybody fired up in a mob mentality. Well, and then I try and get out of town while the fuck we can, and that's my job. And it comes with a certain level of, risk, because you never know what the other guy's going to do, But good morning. I saw somebody ask, is Brass Knuckles and Heavy Hitters the same company? Very interesting ask there with brand knowledge on vapes. They're both great companies. I'll start with that. But the way I guess I was told was that Brass Knuckles the guy who owns that now founded with some other people, heavy hitters, and then they split off. I don't know, good or bad, whatever. Maybe somebody's, I don't know the story behind it. Don't want to speculate. And then he started Brass Knuckles, but both of their fucking carts absolutely slap. People ask for them by name. And a very cool shirt for Brass Knuckles. There's actually, I'm not going to show you my big fat ass brass knucks on the back, like you grab them and drill somebody with it. So glad to have both brands in my shop, and they both sell well.
Look like you shared a photo with us the other day, man. The merch that you got up there, pretty cool.
Yeah, the new Ravens Joint Dare shirts. I actually get the print and put them up on my pro wrestling team. I'm going to put all the Ravens Joint shirts up there because I know people want them. And I don't know. And we also got the toques, the winter hats. They look like the Dare program shirts from the 80s throwback now, and some new hoodies with the Ravens Joint VW bus as well. So I'll see what I got count wise. We might just put them up on ravensjoint.com. But new product arriving every day, man. It's just really, really great. Great time.
Can we get the Bong Rips Rogers t-shirt?
Bong Rips Rogers has got to happen, right? Do a whole weed inspired line that is all fucking, rip-offs of people's names, and then we'll get cease and desist. I'll just give them the money for it. Be like, bro, I'll just sell your shirts. Don't worry, we'll work together. Yeah, man. Everything in weed is always changing, so you have to be up on your stuff. There's a whole new set of rules for seed to sale that kind of go into effect September 1st. So having to educate myself on state regulations. And they do a pretty good job of making it digestible, 25-minute videos with good PowerPoint presentations that break it down, because there's so many different licenses that from seed to sale, the product goes through 3 or 4 different phases, right? From testing, cultivation, distribution to recreation. That I might not need to know everything, but it's nice to know how it all works together, and they do a good job kind of breaking it down. So it's just kind of like being in an upper level college course that is not based around law or anything like that. It's just like you have to know the regs for now, and how it is for now will be completely different than a year from now. So you just have to be fluid with it all, dude, and it's cool.
Absolutely. All that great product up there at Ravens Joint. Be sure to head on over to Google, give them 5 stars. I know Ben and if you guys appreciate that. Keep those high ratings, pun intended there.
Yeah, all that SEO stuff helps, with website and everything. So we appreciate all the 5-star reviews. We usually at the end of the month tally up all the 5 stars and give away 2 $100 gift cards. So it's a nice little incentive in store. Yeah. Good stuff.
Very, very cool. Very cool. Ben, were you partaking this weekend? Something you and I didn't exactly see eye to eye on. Did you have a little smoke in you when you went to the movies for Happy Gilmore 2?
I didn't go to the movies. It was just on Netflix. They didn't release it in the movie.
Let's not go to the movies.
Yeah. Let's not. Did I have smoke in me? I always have smoke in me, bro.
You and I. You didn't completely bash it, but I think I'm like on a whole different level, cloud 9 about this thing. I absolutely loved Happy Gilmore 2, available over on Netflix right next there to Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, and S-Watch series and bflix.sh. It's available on all those for free too. Yeah, man, I thought they did a great job with it. I don't know why you're throwing me under the bus. Saying
I wasn't throwing you. Okay, all right. So I'm like way up here on it. So maybe you just weren't as high as me. So I'm like,
I think they did phenomenal work, paying homage to all of the people who were in the original who've passed away, especially with the graveyard fight, the choreography, the comedy reference. It's what I really like is that comedy movies have been on the shelf for almost 10, 15 years. And since what the fuck is it? The they go to the Vegas, where they go to Vegas.
Hangover.
The Hangover series. So this is kind of a return, and hopefully it sparks some of those great comedy styles of the 80s. Where's our John Candy movies? Where are these Napoleon Dynamites? Like we're not they're just booking one shitty fucking comic book movie after another, dude, with zero script or delivery or acting, and it's all green screen, and soon it'll all be AI. But even let's see an AI comedy version, something along those lines. So, yeah, man, I like it for that reason. I thought MJF was fucking great.
Ask about the wrestlers.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you were putting it over in the chat, and there's just some choices that I don't think were the right choices. Like, I don't think Happy Gilmore should have killed his own wife. Like, it could have been
that ultimate internal struggle, though.
Yeah, but it could have been this. It could have been he hits a shot, it ricochets, goes off of somebody's car, fucking that person hits the brake, the car goes down the hill, a series of events till something happens and fucking the announcer's tower falls on her. Him beaning her in the fucking head and killing his wife.
Both are funny.
You would have had at least one kid that resented him for it, for killing their mom, right? Like, but like that was too much of a direct. That's about the only choice I was like, this isn't anything too crazy outside of that. But that was you wouldn't have all the kids circling up and being together. You would have had one that's like emo and lamenting, and then at the end there's reconciliation. I love you, Dad. I'm sorry I was a prick. Whatever, I'm sorry I killed your mom.
Well, for the chat, let's hold on to spoilers there, but that is just a small plot device inside the movie. There's a lot going on. The cameos are awesome. The slapstick is great. The flashbacks to the old one. I like the stories on it, but to the wrestlers, MJF said he did a great job. I can see him in a different light there. Becky, what you think about her? Hers was kind of limited, but she had some there at the close to the end there. She prominent role where she was featured quite a bit.
Where she puts over Shooter. Yeah, I'm good for her. She's got a good agent. She got to be in Happy Gilmore. I'm not gonna say whatever her performance was. It was supposed to be. You know what I mean? But it's not gonna stand out. It'll be like, and she's a wrestler too. MJF really, as a theater kid, has 10,000 hours more than Becky Lynch does performing wise, so that's why he comes through the camera in almost every scene he's in. And the other brothers that were cast, I thought it was good. I thought I really liked their running jokes. It was truly an Adam Sandler film. And I think this opens the door for Billy Madison to be redone. And, he's like the principal or the school superintendent, or like there's a evil that's hot right now, right? Like the Department of Education may be absolved and Linda McMahon tears it down brick by brick. This shit writes itself. You have government oversight, and we've got to save the community, and you can get all other comedians in as concerned parents, and Billy Madison has to be the guy. Now he was the idiot. Now he might be the one that, so there's,
he was the one that ultimately, that understands you just don't pass kids through. You got to really educate them, because he was passed through and look where it got him.
Yeah. And right now in reality, Baltimore schools, I read 40% of graduates don't even know how to do math. 55% are illiterate and mathematically illiterate in Chicago school systems in some parts of the city. Like, these are things that are true in our society, which will could be the foundation of a script for that. But really, it can reignite programs like, they had Book It Club or whatever it was back in the day, where you read books, they'd feed your fat ass pizza, like, or Ponderosa or whatever, certificates. But how do we incentivize reading programs at a very young age at home? Like, this can be a foundational build for that forward, like a Billy Madison revisited with Generation X becoming grandparents, you know what I mean? Really at this point, and you start all that foundation young to get American literacy back on track.
Absolutely, man. My computer here. Oh, I got it. Sorry about that. It's just good to see him get in there. MJF doing a great job with it. What do you think about Bad Bunny, kind of with a prominent role in there, little wrestling ties?
Yeah, that was I don't want to spoil, but I thought he did a good job, like a bit part, you know what I mean? And they pay homage to all the original bits. Everything's kind of a throwback to the original. So, to watch it straight up without knowing the original, like if you watched 2 when you were a kid, you'd still be entertained, but there's so many pieces, and references from the first ones. So I thought Eminem was great. You know what I mean? There was a lot of great cameos in there. So
Yeah, awesome cameos. I thought the pro golfers did a great job with it. And it's been, as you
yeah,
mentioned,
the
like,
pro golfers were believable, really believable too.
and with the flashbacks, even with the generations, if you are happen to be watching with I wouldn't say kids maybe, but grandkids, it makes some sense to them. They can catch on to what the story was about, maybe if they haven't seen the original.
Yeah, I think so. But the weird thing, you and I love talking business. That's what really drives us, and creativity and marketing. I'm just shocked that this was not released in theaters, bro. I really am. That this is Netflix, what have you. Like, and I'm sure Netflix paid a hefty price for that. But to me, that seems like so much money left on the table. This would have been the blockbuster film of the summer. And within 2 months, you could have gone right to Netflix with it. And I think this is just me hyperbole, or, hypothesizing, excuse me, of Netflix still would have paid a lot for it, and you would have made more at the box office as opposed to no box office and a premium price at Netflix for it. And being the film of the summer that people are getting out of the heat to go see.
Family, feel good.
Yeah. I don't, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm happy to eat shit on the numbers of that, of what Netflix paid for this. But even if Netflix paid for it, they could have put it out in the theaters and got more. I don't understand maximum value being not capitalized on this. It's strange.
I look forward to coming up. It's going to be released this Friday, August 1st. It is in theaters. I'm going to go check it out. Is the remake of The Naked Gun.
Yeah, I think that'll be solid too, bro. I think there's a good opportunity there.
Like I said, there really is. There's that hunger, that want for actual comedy. What I remember comedy as back in the 80s, the 90s, and we've lost that.
Well, it's not that we've lost it. The pendulum swings, bro, and now it's swinging back. I could see Shane Gillis, his film career kind of taking off, and maybe if there's a really great script out there. I mean, Harold Ramis has passed, but there's plenty of other Christopher Guest and others, who still can craft something incredibly and send him on his path. Like people like that, I think he's doing good on Tires, but it's just like his fun comedy project for his friends. I think there's more there. And there's plenty of unsung people that haven't gotten their shot of becoming a monumental star, like who's going to be the next Steve Martin and things like that of their generation. Here comes the pendulum to swing back, and I think we're going to have maybe a decade of quality performances left, and then everything will be replaced by AI, and everything will be so generated that you can have new John Candy movies if you want and change the endings yourselves and whatever makes you happy, sad, or whatever, dude. Like, that's what's coming next.
Well, Ben, let's stick on the movie thing here. And obviously, the wrestling news that everybody's talking about from the weekend is the shocking, the untimely passing of the immortal, the real American Hulk Hogan. That news broke just after we got done recording the Friday Locker Room. Yeah, and that has really been the buzz, for better or worse. So many different opinions. People have been sharing their retrospectives of, man, and it's, when you talk about a retrospective, you look at some of these reviews of it, you're an hour or two, but even that, it's so hard to do, to really break down, analyze, again, better or worse, the life, the contributions, the times of Hulk Hogan. I mean, since the 70s and really in the 80s when transformed Hulkamania, taking over the different boom periods of professional wrestling. I wanted to start, ask you some things about Hogan here, but with your background, I wanted to start maybe something a little different, a little lighthearted conversation with the acting career of Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
Obviously, probably, maybe look at, maybe where you saw, maybe there should have been more potential at certain spots there with that crossover. But obviously, it starts with what I think many would agree was his best role, and that was Rocky III as Thunder Lips.
Yeah. Let's back it up even farther.
Okay.
Hulk Hogan, fat kid who had, a lot of fear of bullying and whatnot before he became huge and jacked. Usually the fat kid in comedy does it to deflect, and they sharpen their swords and they sharpen their charisma, Chris Farley or what have you, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting foundation. Then he was a music nerd. My uncle, who still lives in Tampa and works all the shows at what is the Ice Palace there, or the Cow Palace, one of the palaces, Ice Cow, something. He's an old hippie, but he used to go to Tampa bars in the late 70s and 80s, and Hogan was there playing guitar before he was late 70s, bass player, and before he was ever doing anything with wrestling. So he's a music nerd and a dude who was worried about being chubbied and bullied. And this is how he starts getting over. And then, obviously puberty and Florida water and advice and whatever else, take over. And there we go. So his foundation before for acting, where you're just going to put a guy who's already an icon into Suburban Commando, or even in the Rocky movies as Thunder Lips, which is kind of a silly, goofy name that's just very 80s, you know what I mean? Coming out of 70s and that time when Meatballs and all those movies came out. Ooh, he's a great kisser. Thunder Lips, they call him. And he did what he could do with the part, but that Rocky movie was so iconic. And it exposes wrestling is what it really does.
A big time in sports where you did see those crossovers, the boxer versus it was a big draw globally around then, as you would see, even Aoki over
Muhammad Ali did all that.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, dude. So it was in the crossover of, isn't that fake shit? Well, it's not fake when Hulkster puts you over his head and throws you into the fucking fourth row, even if you're the stunt man playing Stallone and it's really not you. That bump's scary. And it happens on indie shows every night, unfortunately now. So, dude, the guy got movie roles and features because of it. It just kind of sucks that Hollywood never could do anything that great with him. I would probably say Thunder in Paradise was a pretty good feature. You know what I mean? And it opened the door to have other wrestling cameos that were fun in that too. And that Baywatch all that was kind of like pre-reality TV. That was the last like bigger budget Disney action show era, which also I think the pendulum can swing back fully on that, because we had MacGyver, Airwolf, Magnum PI, the A-Team, Dukes of Hazzard, Miami Vice. Like now we have Law and Order, SVU, and it's fucking assholes in a courtroom or somebody checking out a murder scene. Like there's no real crazy great dramas like that of like, where's the new A-Team of vets that came back from Afghanistan and Iraq and are now gonna fucking infiltrate the white supremacist thing, the fucking the cult, and free the women. They're going after the deep state and they have a cool whatever their cool cars are, right? Like where's the updated A-Team? Like I think that shit is coming back soon. That's just the way art goes in cycles, bro.
Let's talk about maybe exposing a little bit, the business there with Rocky. Yeah, well, you're probably in your teen years then, when No Holds Barred comes out. And I think WWE, they kind of back that thing as well. It takes you inside of the world of professional wrestling.
What was that? 80, 88, 89?
No Holds Barred is 89.
Yeah. I'm 12.
All right, so you're 12 years old. So do you remember what's you're in stage, you're in theater, you're into professional wrestling.
Yeah.
How do you remember the thoughts of seeing, okay, now I got this one world introduced to another world that I'm used to, and you get to
I'm
see pro
just
wrestling on the
starting.
big
I'm
screen.
just really starting out my career in that summer. And there was actors around me from Southeastern Theater Conference. They used to bring in professional actors. So, I was watching all that, and I was so addicted to wrestling, especially because like 10 years old, that's when this is my Andre, my Hogan story is when he was fighting Killer Khan Saturday night's main event here in Syracuse and tour show. And Andre came out and stood right next to me and my dad, and Hogan's in the ring. And like, that was it for me at 10 years old. So I was super into wrestling from that point on. And, now I'm getting to work with actors and see kind of behind the scenes and stuff. So it was interesting. You're going into puberty and fucking, and then surrounded the other part of my summer is I'm on tour with lumberjacks who look like Zeus and fucking like guys, dude, they're like Earthquake and Tugboat. And I can fucking show you 5 guys that are on tour with my dad that could easily
that could have been them.
Yeah. So I could show you probably 5 women that could have been Earthquake and Tugboat. To be honest, dude, this lady Penny Halverson.
Watch out, Glow.
Yeah, dude, dude, there's some badass women. Mary Dooley. I've seen some women that are farm girls that would just huge arms on them, lumberjack women, dude, that were just like Glow, and I was watching that too, right? So, it was a crazy time in my life, but Hogan was Americana, bro. Like, that's what we're really talking about here. Regardless of he pressed the giant, he had great feuds with this guy or 5 Moves of Doom or NWO. I mean, I was there for him and Rock. There hasn't been a wrestling moment like that. And I think they just put out some video of like the live crowd. You can't understand. And I was just hard cam ringside up level 100, like right across from hard cam. And I never felt a building come off the fucking ground like that, dude. Like
I have a similar story about it, but I can't imagine on that level. Was it kind of, did that atmosphere in that building change like we're here? I mean, was it pro Rocky at the beginning and then just a wave of emotions just overtook everybody? Like, damn, we just want our Hogan back.
Well, what it was is the acknowledgement of the moment of nostalgia, the passing of the torch, the 2 guys who are the top legends, 1 and 2. Like, it's like Mark McGwire getting a fucking like home run competition against Babe Ruth. Like, it was something crazy. Like, you're back and forth. You can literally see and feel the energy in the air. And we feel it, like a whole arena feels like it's swirling around. It was unbelievable. The group energy that was in there. Like, it was almost like being part of a human battery or some shit. It was crazy, dude. And the heel turn NWO to remarket, where we are now in woke culture to boo him, but he has his own beer. But like, it doesn't matter. There's only maybe 2 or 3 acts you can put over in the history of the world that would even be close. And I don't think any of them are as close to Hogan. I think Hogan's bigger than Michael Jackson. Maybe that's the only one that I could think would be bigger than Hogan with the Pepsi deal, sell out Tokyo Arena, sell out Wembley.
Talking global.
Yeah.
I mean,
you can mention them. You can mention
areas of China. They're going to.
You can go to Thailand. You can go to Zimbabwe. You can go to Alaska.
Michael Jackson.
There's going to be a Michael Jackson There's going to be a Michael Jackson impersonator. Like, that's where you can. Like, people are still making money dancing like Michael Jackson on cruise ships. Like, you know that'll tell you, bro. Fucking Jesus Christ, probably bigger. You could probably drop his name.
He's got it. He might be over.
He's still making money every Sunday. People are fucking giving. You know what I mean? He's over. Elvis Presley, also still getting impersonated.
Yeah, Elvis is a good one.
Yeah. Maybe the Beatles. I think Hogan's bigger than the Beatles.
Yeah, they faded a lot.
Yeah. But Hogan ahead of Elvis? Yup. Hogan ahead of Michael Jackson? Probably not. Hogan ahead of Jesus? That doesn't work for him, brother. So we're talking not celebrity. I was on TV. We're talking global, on the planet, bro. You can go ask some Aborigines in a tribe and fucking,
Taco Media,
Australia to fucking wherever, bro. They're gonna know Hulk. So that somebody saw something in a magazine, whatever it is, like a global influence. And regardless of how anybody feels about stupidity, I appreciate the moment of getting to live in the same time period as some people, whether they're prophetic comics like a Cat Williams or someone along those lines, or just to be able to witness the global icon and to really show that what I've been trying to do and what I took away and what his work influenced me on is that you can pay off global hysteria, politics, and heat in the ring. When I fucking beat the Iron Sheik and it's the end of the Cold War and people can rest easy at night and the Russians are out there and who's going to come and show that we're just as strong and bigger flash? Well, it's Hulk Hogan. Vince booked all of that perfectly. And even if it's the monsters, the giants, can we slay them? And Hogan shows vulnerability. The guy's 6 foot fucking six, seven. Yeah, but his comeback means everything. The way his psychology of his matches is the human experience. You're going to get the shit kicked out of you. Are you going to be able to on 3? No, brother. I'm not out yet. I still got life in me. Fucking
where
get your people behind you and come back.
Amongst the best, the greatest sellers in the business?
Got to be top 3, probably.
I know in today's world, people think selling is just flipping and flopping in that. But I mean,
what does your comeback mean?
To buy in. That's the sell, the comeback.
It doesn't matter if it's him or anybody. This is a lesson on selling. If you're a babyface, you're going to make a comeback. What does your comeback mean if you didn't sell?
Nothing.
So you didn't need to make a comeback. You're just strong as fuck and you're beating the fuck out of everybody. Okay, now you're on a run, and that's a different thing than in a match. You want to be a baby's got to be on the sell, so his comeback means something. That's just psychology. And Hogan, Stevie does all this. How can I match Stevie Richards? Unbelievable.
I was listening to his before we got going here. He does a great job with it.
Yeah, the guy's fucking brilliant. I'm happy to shut the fuck up and just listen to anything that he says to put over the perspective of someone who's worked with him and whatnot. I've only met him 2 or 3 times at a signing I helped put together and some stuff in Chicago early on when I was a fan.
It is kind of cool when you compare it. Obviously, Stevie would say, Rick, shut the hell up on this one. How can you compare me to Hulk Hogan? But the parallels of being able to work with the biggest companies in the world during their times. I mean, Stevie's about damn near done that. The biggest companies around the world in his time, but Hulk did that for so many generations, from the biggest territories to the biggest Western ones to the biggest Japan, all the way through 6 decades worth of wrestling.
And AEW is probably somewhat silently regretting their choice to take a woke stance instead of honoring them after they took all this heat this week.
They did have the brief moment there on Saturday.
But I'm not saying that. I'm not passing judgment on whether they wanted to put out a message or a remembrance or not.
I can understand both ways for AEW there.
But what you just laid out there, he went to all these places. You want Hulk to fucking go, brother, because you know why? None of us would be here making the money if it wasn't for him being built to the draw that had catapulted wrestling to the arenas of the world from the state fairs. The state fairs still make money, but that's because people want a piece of that magic that he created on huge stages that we've been obsessed with in our human existence our whole life. Whoever the fuck that Brock Lesnar was of Rome in 200 AD, right? Fucking Maximus, and we watch Gladiator. There was fucking 600 years of Gladiator. There. Think of all the Brock Lesnars you don't even know about, the Hulk Hogans that ruled the world at that time. So my point going back is, got to live in a time, even though it's phony ass wrestling, 5 moves of doom or whatever, that he made people feel something, that he got people over fear of Cold War, that things were cool to Too Sweet and fucking promote NWO and suck it and be with your crew. Like, the guy was a performer. He's a fat kid who fucking played bass in 50 years on the road. Look what he did
of a history
of
our,
the history
of our society.
Of our society is my point. And if you can't appreciate that for the workload and the journey, that's what living vicariously through professional wrestling is. We would all seem like we would want to be in that spotlight, and you might for 2 days. Be careful what you wish for. That guy had to carry that top spot and protect it, and then take heat for protecting it after he created that level of success in the business and being a Shark. So they can say, and people have their own truths about race, where he's with his kid and in jail and fucking saying the Blizz love us, or you're banging out your buddy's daughter on the kayfabe or his wife on the kayfabe, and they're fucking taping you, and it becomes scandal. That, or you go for steroid thing to testify against Vince, and like, if you can weather the storm, people want to believe in the comeback always. And Hogan's comeback is everything, bro. And the only thing that really popped me is, and I said it, somebody had put out like, are you sure he's really gone? Did anybody check his hand 3 times to fucking see? Like,
and that's the worker. That's the worker.
And dude, when I've said this, when I go, the jokes better be immediately, and they better be ruthless. Like, hey, that's the dark side of this mafia. I've been in so many threads of like the boys popping each other. And I know when my time comes, like, there'll be at least one day of fucking blasted on him. I love it, man. It's kind of like the mafia salute on the way out. You know what I mean?
Who would you
put? It's Hulk fucking Hogan. He's bigger than every president.
Who would you put on the political Mount Rushmore with Hogan in professional wrestling?
Politicers?
Yeah. I mean, there's no one that could do it. It's done it better than Hogan, right?
Triple H.
I'm gonna put a asterisk. Triple H, Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people today don't realize, Flair. A lot of people don't realize the importance that politics played throughout the history of professional wrestling, because it's such a dog-eat-dog world. Once you get that spot, you're going to do anything to hold on to that.
Yeah, but Hogan was never comfortable with that, like, until probably NWO era. Like, even though he had his huge run, you hear about the stories of.
Well, I think the first maybe political is, you guys used to talk about a lot, is that Hogan and Ventura will swear by it. He's the one that went and told Vince about the union.
But that's where Hogan knew he was over, and it was Vince's guy, and that's trying to shit stir in the locker room for the good of the boys, because Jesse's a man and isn't going to play that shit. But not playing that shit is what will get your throat cut, and that's where the opportunity arises, and Hogan gets over. But Hogan was shitting his pants with Andre, like, about, is he going to change the fence? Is he going to let me do this? And
is he going to do this?
And Hogan let him sweat it out, right? Because Andre's on his way out and doesn't want to pass the torch as a locker room leader. And I don't know that Hogan was the locker room leader. He was Vince's guy. That's different, especially as a babyface. And then once you're going to go on the run and we're going to put it on you for 3 years, then you get comfortable. Then that doesn't work for me, brother. I'll work Boss Man for fucking 9 months. I'll work Earthquake. I'll work Warrior until fucking he pisses me out. Like, Hogan knows he's up
those
there.
Guys, they talk about the paydays of getting to work with Hogan.
And this is why we talked about Caitlin Clark. Yeah, $1 Million Man. Caitlin Clark. These girls are idiots. With, like, we talked about the NHL guy saying, yeah, after Gretzky came in the league, fucking shit was through the roof. We were making 20 grand each more a month. We knew not to fucking go fuck up our meal ticket. These guys are the same thing. Like, Hogan is there and drawing the house. You make him look like a god. And then with most baby faces, that can go to their head. But it seemed like even if Hogan was in Impact or WCW, by that time, he knew how to protect his spot as a top guy and learned in that time how to be like, I'm the draw. I bless this company. People are going to tune in and I'm going to cash in on it. And especially after you've raised your rate from having the biggest gates, WrestleMania 1, 2, and 3, what you can name your price, you know? So, and that set a standard of what a superstar is in this business. And that's where they built The Rock out of that. They got Stone Cold and Austin to that level, but The Rock has transcended that into bigger than Hogan in Hollywood. Is he a bigger icon? Maybe because of Hollywood movie status, but he never had the Politico tied into his character that paid off, that makes you a true part of the Cold War 1980s era. You're as fucking as American as they come. You know what I mean? You might like his beer can. You're up there with an eagle and fucking every other goddamn thing. So
I think a lot of the things that Hulk doesn't get a lot of credit for, it's just because, you know, even the workers, they get that mindset. The fans absolutely do. They think everything is so important inside of the ring, the bell to bell. You know, Hulk was one of those guys that was willing to make that sacrifice to put the time in outside of it, the PR work, understanding the importance of, you know, Vince's vision with the merchandise and going to the talk shows, doing all the interviews, seeing the potential with the crossover into the news. I mean, he's wrestled at this point, what, 320, 25 times a year, days a year, multiple times some days, and still is getting on the and still getting on the plane to do all those other things, to putting those hours in to spread the word of Hulkamania.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, everybody lives vicariously. They would love to do it for a day or two. Do it for 50 fucking years, bro. Do it for 3 marriages, for being on the road away from your kids and what that does to them. And like, now you're a carny and you're like, all right, I gotta do the gimmick all the time, brother. Who am I? And like, is there ever any downtime? And in that downtime, my body's hurting, you know what I mean? And what do I got to do or take to make it to the next town in the 80s? Like, all that, no true layman at home, hardworking blue collared cat can understand what that shit is about. Even me, in the small bit I did in this business, I couldn't imagine shouldering the John Cena workload, the Rock work. You know what I mean? Like, crazy when you're carrying a company. And not only did he carry it, he was like trailblazing. Like, I'm going from the East Coast to the West Coast, and you don't know what's ahead. You know what I mean? Sure, Bruno, and it had been established from Gorgeous George era on, but like, not at this level, not in a world TV level like this, dude. So, and was there any time that he really dropped the ball? I don't think so. You know what I mean? Whether it was Bundy or anybody, bro, like, they were always similar, but able to be reinvented and plug Macho Man in and all that shit, dude. Simple themes, friendship, I guess maybe not so simple, Cold War, like, you know, fear, overcoming giant, David Goliath, fucking torch pass, like monumental things that are very Greek mythology in nature, you know, like old stories that fucking resonate at a foundation level of the soul. Betrayal of your brother, fucking, you know, ripping the shit off of his neck and all that shit. So, and Hogan's acting ability to show emotional pain as much as in the ring taking big moves pain was what made his comebacks mean everything, when he would hulk up fucking till he point at you, you know. So, and when he pointed at The Rock in that match, great. You know, another great one that is overlooked, and he just posted it the other day, and I'm so proud to be associated with the gimmick of this guy, is Muhammad Hassan and Daivari. That big was moment. A phenomenal comeback, and Hulk looked great, and those guys did everything the absolute way they should have. You know, I might have had Hulk go over and even a little stronger on with a big slam and leg drop, but his back was probably pretty jacked at that point. But the fact that, you know, I not deal with him. I fucking know Muhammad Hassan pretty well. And I can only imagine what he feels like in his wrestling journey and how it scarred him. It was everything. And then to have it ripped, and then his life is wonderful with his education job and his wonderful family. But dude, that's just like, you're done in the mafia instantly out of nowhere, and it was through no fault of your own. And you were just in the ring with Hulk Hogan, fucking absolutely killing it, paying off that old school chic heat in the new school with the fucking 9/11 shit, bro. Couldn't be any more perfect. And then gone. I was in the ring with Hogan last year. You know,
now it's like, what happened? You know,
now you're doing detention. Like, fucking day. You know, I would have had every kid in detention doing push-ups for an hour if I was him, just to fucking get the heat out of him. But like that's got to be incredible. And in the passing of Hulk here, I know he gets to kind of relive of like, I got to accomplish a great goal in my life. You know what I mean? And I'm proud of him for that. And I remember watching that and being inspired by that fucking segment too.
Mid-90s.
When they say Hogan is immortal, it's because of moments like that, like the Sheik, like NWO, slamming the Giant, you know, on and on and on it goes. The reason for his immortality is the work of the others in the moment that made that a pillar of Hulkamania that hold him up.
In the mid-90s, during the steroid trial, prosecutors or feds, they think they have got a slam dunk case against Vince McMahon, as pretty much they're under impression Hogan's going to come testify against his former boss. There's tons of heat between Vince and Hulk at this time. Hulk's gone off. He's Thunder of Paradise that we talked about, soon to be going to WCW.
Was there really heat though?
Well, I just want to ask you here, you know, that was presented that way, that there's heat here, but you know, and everyone's like, oh my God, this is it. Hulk's going to slam the door closed. Vince is going to jail. Is this Hulk realizing ultimately, even if there was heat, this isn't about him and Vince. This is about protecting professional wrestling and the moneymaker that Hulk Hogan is. And because if Vince goes down and it's on Hogan, I mean, Hogan could have, if he went against Vince, we could be talking about how Hogan killed professional wrestling.
He could, but that's a nice way to frame it. That's a nice way to frame it. Here's how it goes down in my mind. Hogan and Vince are fucking top level mafia wrestling scumbags who've worked the world for 10 years.
Right.
They're going to go work the fucking Senate committee. Like dude, that's like going to elementary school and reading My Pet Goat to some kids for them, bro. Like, you're talking about the top two workers
this
in
is the ultimate work.
They fucking jumped in the limo and were fucking laughing afterwards, bro. Like the whole thing, like, Hogan is what he is because of Vince. He's not going to turn on him and fucking throw him under the bus because the fake politicians at the time got questions and they want to fuck over Vince McMahon because he probably didn't pay somebody who wanted a payoff and told them to go fuck themselves when they tried to work him in some dark way behind the scenes. And then we'll go, and I've got the champion of the world on my side. Who the fuck you got? Some other scumbag politician that nobody trusts, like Vince and Hogan.
The ultimate double turn.
Yeah,
turns on the
there was no, like, I like that you frame it as a real moment.
Right.
You're talking about the head of the Gambino family and the fucking head of the Castellano family going like, will they flip? No, dude, they're top level mob guys in this, and they were laughing the whole way there. No, I never heard of him. Who's that?
The ultimate double turn, the ultimate work. It was on the feds and the prosecutors.
Well, that's really what it's about. It's not finding anything. It's about putting people on they're going, you're under oath. Don't lie to me. Oh, okay. I'm under oath to what? To what am I under oath to? What have you done for me? I'll tell you what I've done for you. I ended the fucking Cold War. What the fuck did you do? Who the fuck did you ever beat? That's what goes on
before Cody Rhodes ended racism. Hogan ended the Cold War.
Yeah.
Do you think, in the later years, the controversy does kind of come to the surface with Hogan? Do you think he would take back doing the reality show? That seems to be like when that door kind of opens into that personal world, and maybe some of the history of problems that came along with the celebrity and everybody's focusing that negative eye on the Hulkster.
Yeah, man. Now, when you say, hey, everybody watch this, do what I do, that's the time that the tide turns and they want to tear you down. I even used to have a Hameen Knows Best shirt, if you remember. It was based off the graphic, because not that it's laughable that your family's falling apart, but you've been on the road for a lot of years and now you're trying to make it all up and try and play Brady Bunch on TV because the Kardashians are hot and they're nobody. Their dad was just OJ's lawyer. I'm Hulk Hogan. People will want to see my family. And you haven't dealt with some of the things that probably should have been dealt with. And you're trying to do Osbournes, right? Like
how are those pitches from the network? I mean, because then the network gets in there and they got to twist everything and make it drama driven. Are they going in there and saying, hey, we're going to make you guys look great. Everyone's going to love you.
Yeah, all that shit. They're saying, you know how much Ozzy made with his family? You know how much our Kardashians made? Look at what you can make, Hulk. Hulk can, you want something for your kids. You want them to be over. This is the vehicle that's going to start their whole life. And instead, they're getting crazy money, blowing it on cars, smashing them in street racing, fucking who knows what else they're doing, bro. And get your daughter a job at TNA. Like, this is just the human things you're going to do to take care of your family. But all those things are going to be surface level if you don't have the foundation of what you need to going forward. You know what I mean? So I don't doubt that he doesn't love his kids and family, but then the marriage goes to shit and we're on third wife and all that stuff. And everyone's going to do as thou wilt and choose their own path. And when you're Hulk Hogan, there's a standard. You can't just like fade away now, right? Like if you've been doing for that long, you're going to be that till you're gone. So the kids are grown. There's no reason for Hulk to not go on the path on his own. The stuff with his wife, Linda, the breakdown was weird. Like, a couple months ago, like tragic, obviously she's not real with it. And the Bubba the Love Sponge stuff, like we've been kayfabing it for 3-4 weeks. We had heard that the heart valve replacement didn't take and they're trying to make him as comfortable as possible. And dude, this is what's going to happen to a lot of people in a generation, whether it's Flair not being that far behind or, like Ozzy going, there's going to be a lot of iconic people from our childhood as we get older. We might feel like we're still in our 20s and listen to all that music and be fucking 48 next month.
Dude, I'm going to have trouble getting up out of this chair that I do every time after a podcast. That's why I don't like the long podcast anymore. It hurts getting up out of the chair.
Yeah. But then we want to buy into the mythos of our heroes and our TV icons and our glory days of our inner child. We're almost all trying to get back to an age of 8 to 12 years old, or even earlier, 6 to 12. And that spirit of play before puberty takes our innocence from us. That's a big part of Chicago improv training, is untraining that judgment and getting back to that inner child and play of that level. And whether it's you playing with your action figures, GI Joes, all that stuff, and doing those kind of voices. So he provides that nostalgia value. And with that gone, that's the loss that people are truly feeling on themselves with this. And an end of an era type age of innocence is gone fully, and it's going to happen more and more. So the memes are great. The memes are great, though.
Memes are always great. The meme machine. But Frank Spickelbarrel with a good point, and it might be a little disgusting. Of what we're going to get into there is not just the merch, but that estate.
Dude. A guy like Hogan has had a family trust for a long time. Like, there's different types of trusts with appointees, and some are can be altered. But usually, and I would imagine that he's got it pretty well laid out of what his estate is and what his exes get, even, going forward, like all that.
All the companies, he's got the wrestling, the real wrestling. He's got the beer. He's got the surf shops.
I don't think there's, the guy's a corporation with many out. And to be honest with you, an inspiration in that. I'm about to file for another LLC myself, and this will be my fifth LLC, and I'll have 3 companies that I'm working on at one time, bro. And he might just be a spokesperson, but that doesn't mean you're not managing your time between fucking Hogan's Beer, being at the Hall of Fame, or WWE for a Legends thing, the fucking new wrestling thing that was going to kick off. Like, 71 years old, that's a fucking lot, bro. Like, it's a lot at 48 with smaller companies, not global launches, So I tip my hat to keeping diversified after not really having a wrestling company that you have to ask permission to, really spanning his own brand. And once you're at that level, the Hogan estate has a trust that's probably worth easily, I would probably say $1.5 to $2 billion easily, based on what I got to believe his investment portfolio is from the 80s. Imagine what stock Hogan bought in the 80s that he still holds on to. Like, he probably just forgot about, and what the value
in a lockbox somewhere.
Yeah, dude. Like, there might be more than that just based in investment portfolio. So I got to believe that. And will there be fighting over it? I got it, sure, to some degree. But, can't take it with you, my guy. What are you going to do? Just going to sit in another trust and accrue more interest to go from 2 billion to 3.5? Okay, but what are we really doing with that money to influence the world?
I guess on the home stretch here, for me, Hulkamania, when I got turned on to professional wrestling, it was The Rock and Wrestling, the cartoon. Then I went over to saw the real stuff. It was that crossover, the slamming of the giant. Wasn't a huge Hulkamaniac as a kid. I remember being so absolutely torn as a child as the Mega Powers exploded, having to choose between Macho and the Hulkster. I had an easier time dealing with my parents' divorce than I did the Mega Powers exploding. I mean, that's how the impact that it had. A year later, the Ultimate Challenge. I was a little warrior. Here's the Hulkster, the 2 greatest forces. I was in such tears at that time. That's when my parents had to pull me aside. My mom had to pull me aside and tell me that it was fixed, that it wasn't what I was watching wasn't really happening.
If your mom would have, if your mom would have had a better match with Steamboat, you would have been into their divorce more. Probably. Yes. It would have been a better storyline.
Yeah, absolutely. But even the moments with the NWO, that for me, my high school years, I mean, how that just brought wrestling. That's when wrestling was pop culture. It was at the front of society. I remember where I was one of my biggest markout moments when Lex Luger tapped him out on a Nitro to win it. Just, that love, that passion for professional wrestling. Sure. That's what the Hulkster embodied to me. For you, I knew you were maybe not, you weren't always a main event guy. It was Andre that put you, that you were in awe of, but you were more of a mid-card guy. But what would you say, like, especially the impact that Hulkamania had for you as a young fan?
Yeah, I remember very young. My grandmother was a super funny lady, and we were on some trip to Toronto or something like that. Maybe it was Montreal, and Mega Powers were on TV, and my grandma started impersonating them, and I was like, because how ridiculous it was, and I remember laughing so hard. And the Hulkamania stuff was always what was driving Saturday Night Main Event or whatever. So I was into it, but I like heels. So until Hogan really flipped to an NWO, I wasn't really like, oh, that he's my guy, and in the big talk, dude, and like all the Macho Man stuff, the way they talked, I don't know, it just never resonated with me as a fan. I was always into mid-card guys, and that was just the way I was. They were always in the program and leading the show, but I'd be more into Roddy Piper than I would be Hogan or the Rise of $1 Million Man or Jake Roberts, Rick Rude, the fucking Mr. Perfect and Brett's Full Ride. And I like the tag teams too more. I always hated Demolition, even though I'm super pumped to share a locker room with them later in life. But like when I was a little kid, I always was into Powers of Pain and fucking couple others,
I was a Demolition guy. I think me and you had that debate on here one time.
Yeah, we did. So yeah, but those guys were a thing because Hogan was leading the house. So what I like doesn't matter as much. The guy was the icon. So
Hey, Hogan was bringing
But-
the eyes so everyone else could be enjoyed and be discovered.
plus I was a little fat kid too. So if I had known that, I might have liked him better, and I played bass.
I was going to say, if only you picked up the bass. Look at that.
Dude, I played bass for 8
I
years.
mean, Mania could have been running wild.
Yeah, maybe we're more like each other than we know. So yeah, I gotta get my sex tape going. Yeah, man. I don't rip my shirt off for anybody.
Yeah, just got another shirt on under it.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Obviously, the impact globally was felt, and just something we're gonna have to deal with over and over again as we age, and because we made so many icons because of popularity and expansion of TV. Think about what was going on that time from channels 3, 5, and 9 to cable expansion. You got 33 channels. Within 10 years, how many did you have on DirecTV? 180 channels, 5 different HBOs, 40 music channels, all that shit. Now there is no TV and it's instant gratification through your phone. It's a huge change in the landscape, in a kind of an unspoken reason of why people are iconographied. Is that a word? Or become iconoclast in our time, because the importance we placed on entertainment and TV. And this guy was there, right place, right time, to be able to do it in arenas, in theater settings, that were live and transcend through the camera with backstage promos with Gene Okerlund, or having the right bad guys to play off of that were icons of their own in the time. Great, huge characters and huge in stature, from Sid, to Andre. And they tried it over and over again. Sometimes it doesn't work with El Gigante and, and other dudes, but we're going to try, So, and if it made money once, we're going to fucking just plug in. We're going to make another Dastardly Heel and get 9 months out of it. And let's draw some money, dude. So, brilliant work.
Amazing, man. Ben, I think a good conversation here about the Hawks, the immortal one, the real American, the man that changed the game of professional wrestling. Want to do a little different approach with it, and as always, you hit a home run, man.
Oh, thank you. I mean, there's been plenty of other shows this week where people have been in ring with him and whatnot. All I can do is kind of offer growing up in that time and what the influence was to me. Because, yeah, I'd like to have paid something off, sure, but by that time it was long past it. And what am I going to outdo Muhammad Hassan's spot? No way. So, to all those who got to,
that's got to be up there amongst the ones that you wish at some point you would just had a little brush with somewhere. I mean, to have that, as you said, going back and sampling the greatest things in history.
All you got to do is ping pong me back and forth with Dick Justice, and he calls for it, and Dick Justice does the leg drop on me. But it wasn't in the stars. But I've worked with plenty of others who worked with him, and a lot of my friends from the Spirit Squad, I know, were just like honored to be able to have come in contact with him, and guys like Nick Dinsmore, you know what I mean? Like, I look forward to hearing more of what their opinions are, but those are guys who grew up same era I did and got to live out that dream. So for me to put out a show, like, I'm going to say something more, over the top than what they could offer, by all means, I would rather lay out and listen and hear my friends' versions of how it was to work with the greatest to ever do it in this business.
Absolutely. Well, Ben, change topics here before we get out of here. Yeah. Some of the greatest, my favorite eats. Tomorrow is National Chicken Wing Day. You're in the backyard of where they were born, brother. But what tips do you give the Hameen Army for going out and celebrating for the perfect chicken wing?
Yeah, well, I would go and make my own, to be honest with you. Right now, it's summertime. The grill's out there.
Grilled nice, good, baby.
Grilled charbroiled first. You're going to go out there and grab the wing party pack where they're already trimmed. Usually about $10 for 2 pounds. And, pick any other feathers off that might be there and wash them well. I
on there.
put them in a salt and water brine with some garlic powder and lemon for about 4 hours before I'm going to go to the grill with them, and some olive oil in there.
We
And
got
then-
any weed sauce yet? We can shake them wings.
Oh
in?
yeah, there is weed infused hot sauce, absolutely, and you can always infuse your own if you want to. And then charbroil them nice, and then I got for tomorrow. I've got the Buffalo Wild Wings garlic parmesan, and I also have the Thai chili for tomorrow. So I'm not even going classic Frank's hot sauce buffalo wings. I'm doing sweet Thai chili
I
and
like that.
garlic parm.
I like that. I think I'm gonna.
And
hit
I
some
like
beat
to 2/3 of the way through the cook. That's when I add my first layer of sauces on there to let the sauce cook into the skin. And that last third, take them off, and then I shake them with sauce after that. So I baste with the sauce that I'm also going to shake.
Very, very nice. If you are going out to buy some wings, mom and pop places, absolutely amazing. Check out your local pizza joints if they offer wings. The oven baked ones are freaking incredible.
Yeah.
Good, nice Christmas to them. I'm not a big sauce on the wing guy. I like to have it on the side for a little dipping. I like that natural flavor. It's a lot cleaner. I feel you get a lot more sauce, but that sweet Thai chili, that sounds freaking good there.
Yeah, I like that. I've been on that pretty heavy whenever I've done chicken lately. So check it out. There's so
Carolina
many
Gold, garlic parm, spicy.
Yeah,
garlic
what I
parm.
like now is in Market 32, used to be Price Chop around here. They have a pretty damn good local selection of sauces too. So I try, even though I got the Buffalo Wild Wings, because I know I like it. There's Dinosaur Barbecue around here, Exit 33. So try your locals too. You never know what you might find there. If your local grocery store has them, they're usually at the end caps, and there's so many that fucking show Hot Wings challenge has driven the sauce market when it comes to chicken wing stuff. There's all kinds of crazy shit out there.
If you like your wings with a view, if you got a Twin Peaks next to you, they got incredible. You got to get them smoked and grilled. You got to specifically ask for it smoked and grilled. They're unbelievable.
Yeah, if you got 4 hours to smoke wings, by all means, fucking get her going. But I'm going to get them done in 2025 tomorrow on the grill. So thanks for the reminder. I'm going to actually defrost them and get them ready. And I like to do that 4 hour in the salt brine because it keeps it from drying out, even though the outside's crispy. That's a little secret. If you can spend all like in the morning, just get that ready quick and leave them in there, come back and do them for dinner.
I see Beat Ups has got for $20. They got all you can eat with fries going at most locations. So if you're out and about, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's good. That is good. Even though their wing quality's gone down. If I was going to do anything, I'd go to Tully's in Syracuse or Buffalo or Albany, where they
They
are
got good
now.
sauces there at Beat Ups, though.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I can get it in the store, so there's no reason for me to go. I'd rather grab those wings and do them at home. So, and it's summertime, man. You got to barbecue as much as you can before fucking winter is coming, Jon Snow. So, well, yeah, the chat room was banging today. You guys were 47 strong to finish it up. I hope you're having a great summer, man, and not falling for any of the propaganda, and that you're making some memories, staying safe, and not just being doom scrolling wherever you go, So art of the beat of the V, kicking ass at the track, and make sure you're having some adventures yourself out there, you guys. Anything else, Rick?
I'm good, man. I'm about to fire up Mr. Nanny. I'm going to watch a little Hawk
there
movie
you
this afternoon while I'm doing some work.
Well, it's always thunder in paradise, infidels, here at Hameen Media Group on the Monday Locker Room, brother. We're going to do it for the Hulkster one time. Yeah, Daddy. What you going to do?